What? Ah. Blick. Blap. Shway. Bap. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm Adam Maness.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Daily jazz advice coming at you.
What the heck was that?
That was the supple tones of Joshua Redman, Shway, as he's known to his friends.
Shway.
Shway, yeah. A little insider thing there.
I did not know that.
And that's from the
Spirit of the Moment.
Spirit of the Moment. That's what I thought.
Bro,
I was thinking
you're
freedom.
on this record. How
No,
do
I
you
was
keep
thinking
doing
Freedom of the
this?
Grooves. Spirit of the Moment, Freedom of the Grooves.
Spirit of the Moment, live at the Village Vanguard. This is you on piano, Joshua Redman on tenor saxophone, Chris Thomas on the bass, and Brian Blade on the drums. Is that right?
Yeah, that'd be the Nora Jones rhythm, the current Nora Jones rhythm section, as we were talking about the other day.
Well, so we're going to do our tune analysis Wednesday. We're going to do maybe more than just one solo, but everybody loves your solo on this, and I thought it would be fun. I just wanted to put it out there. Peter wasn't like, hey, yo, we got to do this recording of my solo.
No,
I was like, yo, everybody emails me and like, hey, what about Peter's solo? So
no, what I said was, I was like, yo, that'll be fun. I have never listened to that solo, so that'll be interesting.
Well, this is a legendary solo of yours, man. Everybody
Really?
talks about this one, yeah. Let's get into it a little bit here.
Okay.
This is St. Thomas from the live
at the Village Vanguard.
Now, Josh does this full, we're like 2 minutes into the intro.
Right.
I skipped ahead.
I love the sound on this record. I forgot about that.
The Vanguard live records are so good.
Man, but some people try to, like, this is so dry.
Yeah.
But this is exactly what it sounds like in there.
I know,
you
it's
know?
awesome. It's like it's like sitting in the third row.
Yeah,
It's
but
so great.
you could almost be like in a practice room with like perfect sound baffling, you know.
Yeah, man.
But that's the way it sounds when you're there.
There's so many Joshua Redman isms.
Yeah.
In this intro.
Yeah.
The high-low.
Right. Whoa.
All right, so we can get a little insightful here. You're literally sitting at the piano while he's doing this. What are you
I think
thinking?
I was still back in the kitchen. I don't think we'd even come out yet, because we know he likes to play a long time.
You get the Sazerac at the bar.
This is actually pre my discovery of Sazerac. But,
Oh.
yeah.
So what are you listening for as a pianist? You want to tell our listeners when someone's taking an extended intro or segue or cadenza, what are you trying to hear?
For me, especially on this kind of thing, I'm really just trying to feel what the vibe is, so that when we come in, and to tell you the truth, at this point, because I know it's going to go on a while, I'm not even worried about that. So I'm really just like listening, almost like you're sitting in the front row at the Vanguard, because that's how I can best get the vibe. Like, I'm not worried. I mean, obviously the tune is easy, simple, but to be able to come in, like, he plays with so much energy. It's so amazing what he can do on a saxophone. For the piano to do an intro, we can do a lot. It's a single line instrument. He's got like these sort of bass things going, boom, kind of going through the harmony, but the rhythmic thing is happening. So like, we're sort of listening to catch the vibe. So when we come in, we either match the energy or contrast, kind of whatever needs to be happen at that moment, And so what I always do is, like, I really just relax and enjoy it. Like,
Nice.
that's the best, because otherwise I'm starting to think too much.
Yeah.
And you don't need to, because the intro's its own thing, the tune's its own thing. We got to make that transition, and if we've really listened to what's happened, we'll play the right thing after that, I believe.
So you're saying number one?
Listen.
I think something's happening.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a good, why don't you pause for just a second. I'll just give everybody one little pro tip, and I'm glad I did this right. I was wondering, I was like, ugh. I mean, there's a lot, I was young then. But, so and none of this was ever planned. Like, I mean, we played this tune before, although this was recorded right at the beginning of this band. This was like the second month of the band, so we actually hadn't played that much. But the thing about it is as a pianist, Like that's the whole thing of listening to what's happening before. You know the rhythm section is going to come in, that he's going to do something, but it's different every time. But this is a time actually for the pianist to lay back, and I'm glad. I was like, oh, I hope I don't play something before the one, because Brian on the drums came in with like that really cool fill. Yeah, and so it would have been really easy and like a lot of pianists kind of jump in there because we can. Yeah. That could have been, and it could have been okay. Maybe we get lucky, but that's kind of sort of knowing the other players, listening, and just because we're the piano, look, we're gonna have plenty of time to play. Relax, and then you always you don't want to be afraid that there's going to be just space. That space always works. Like once the grooves happen. So like if Brian hadn't played anything and I hadn't, it still would have been cool. Totally. Like don't panic. Don't panic.
Yeah.
But you kind of have some situational awareness,
I love that. That's great. Don't overplay.
No. Number 2. Okay, so just because I'll probably forget this, and it'll be interesting to see if I actually continue this. So I think he ended on that D flat.
Yeah.
So now this is a cool thing if you can take advantage, and I have no idea if I'm going to continue to. Like you're kind of, there's a little bit of a implication of modulating up. Of course, we're not going to actually modulate up, but I think for the next soloist, and I think I solo next. I hope so.
You are, yeah.
That, like, I almost feel an obligation to work that into my solo some. So something kind of playing around with that, because that's going to be the connection between what happened. Because he basically just played a solo by himself, played the melody real quick, and then gets out and like the energy's high. So there's a couple things. I got to start my solo out at that energy level. I can't be like, hey, I've been thinking all day how I want to solo. Why are you guys messing up my solo, man?
Right.
You need to fit in with what's happening. So you really cannot have any idea about what. Even if you think, it's one more measure, now I'm ready to go. Then he hits that D flat. Yeah. It's like, so we got to work that
now
in.
Now that's where we are.
So it'll be interesting to see if I do.
Let's back that up. Let's back that up and see if we can hear that.
Yeah. And this is as late as it gets.
Yeah, the very last eighth note before you come in. Woo! Yeah, you did hit it.
I played a little bit.
There it is again. Yeah.
Thank God.
Woo. There it is again.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I love how the energy is just like super high throughout this whole thing, but you're not overplaying still.
I'm going to start at 11 and I'm going to go to 16. Well, this is a challenge. I still struggle with this, actually. That's what I was trying to remember, like, if I can remember anything about my mentality, and I can't. But even now, when you are in a situation where you need to start your solo at an 11, you don't have a lot of options. You kind of got to just burn. And so I think what I did, and I don't know, if it totally works, but like you almost start soloing in a way that you're not building things up as quickly thematically as you normally would, just because of the energy level. It's not even that those have to match perfectly, but you're kind of at a place, so you're thinking even more in terms of the flow of the whole tune, as opposed to, and I don't remember what comes later or what we normally did, but hopefully it fits with that too. But it's different than like somebody that builds up a big, like he built up a solo and then kind of went down, then built it up and bam, and then we're there. And then like one thing I know I was trying to do, just interact, because I was thinking like this is what I would be doing now if I played. Like Brian Blade is doing a lot of staggered stuff between the cymbal and the snare drum.
Yeah,
Sometimes one or the other, sometimes back.
Yeah, yeah.
Like on the rhythm, and like the harmony is so basic on this
Yeah,
tune.
yeah, yeah.
So like it becomes like a real rhythmic play, and like Chris is laying things down great. And so I was really trying to get in there with that, and so that kind of makes it more interactive than you normally would be, and that becomes sort of the thematic thing as opposed to like building something up. Like you're starting here and then you're playing off of that that back and forth.
Yeah, I was going to say you're doing that interaction with Brian Blade. That's exactly what I would have done starting at 11 is like you go in there with the drummer because they're going to be able to keep you up without you having to be like all the whole time. You can get rhythmic with them, and this is, I think, great tip for anybody who maybe overplays when it gets too intense.
Right.
You don't have to play super loud or super burning the whole time. Like, lean on the drummer. They want to play.
Ride the wave, baby. Ride the wave.
They want to bash those drums as hard as they can.
Right. That's right.
And so be with them, and they'll start lifting everything up. And
and certainly in the Vanguard, like where you can hear, but it's small and closed. Like you really on a bigger stage or a bigger thing, it's harder to control that. I mean, to control that kind of interaction. But when you're in there, you can really ride that wave.
Oh man, yeah, that must be such a great feeling in that club to like have them.
It's all right.
Yeah, right. Just all rhythmic stuff.
Yeah, I never really knew what to play over this tune.
This tune is hard. This tune is.
I never know what to. I mean, like that was part of the reason I was just sort of going for broke because I'm like, I don't know what like that. It's a little bit covering up like a lack of. I understand the tune, but I just don't really know what to do with it.
The tune is hard to find like deep melodic content on.
Yeah,
because it always has. It's a tune of cadences.
Exactly.
It's just a cadence after a cadence. You're like. We're just all.
It's just like forced resolution.
Yeah, forced
every 2 bars.
Every 2 bars, we're just gonna resolve, I guess.
And then the bridge just circles right back to the top of the tune.
The bridge is one long cadence.
Dang!
Yeah, you getting interesting.
Oh, we got bored. We're back on the mainland. This is a little more in our wheelhouse.
I believe that's Thomas. Chris Thomas.
No, I think that's Josh.
Is that Josh?
I think so. A little forced block chordage. Okay, stop right there. Sorry. I don't mean to mess up the vibe, but this is one thing that may be of interest. I've always enjoyed doing this, but you have to be careful because so when we came to that, like it was definitely like a build up. Like I don't like always resolving things right the whole rhythm section together.
Yeah.
But it's such a risk because, I mean, I even remember like fleeting thoughts still go through my mind. Like, is everyone going to think I'm lost? But like at a certain point you get a confidence. But like I'll hear resolutions like after the beat and stuff.
Totally.
And I think that they can still work when that underlying groove. So it's like Blade, bang. And then I did it like a beat later because to me it sounds corny. I mean, sometimes it works.
Yeah.
And we're always listening.
I guess Oscar Peterson's corny. That's cool.
Did Oscar ever get a chance to check this recording out?
No, but I hear exactly what you're saying, man. And that sounds super hip. I'll back it up a little bit to hear Blade pop on the 1 there, and then you're on the 2.
And Blade is notorious for, I mean, a lot of that I learned from him. He'll do that sometimes.
He will do that all the time.
And we would play, but also like what leading up to this, even when we were back in the groove with that staggering between the cymbal and then the rhythmic stuff I was doing, staggering back and forth. I think it kind of lends it, stylistically, it makes sense to where we are.
I've heard Blade do something like, yeah.
Yeah.
On the end is like.
No, sometimes you'd be like, snap back,
like the next
he's
bar.
Like a bar late.
That's great. All right, I backed it up. Let's check it out.
That's Oscar Peterson right there. Straight stolen.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. That's copyright infringement, man. We're going to be double copyright.
I think I've stole this. I'll cop up to that.
Woo! Because I think it helps continue things too. Like if we were going to end there, maybe you want to hit it all together. But it's nice because it's almost like I just sort of, was continuing it was the start of the next phrase, which doesn't. It ends. He's got that, and then we start again.
Man, this was so much fun to hear you talk about it. I mean, this is a solo that I've listened to since I was in high school. And I'm sure our listeners got a lot out of this. We might do this again. I might make
Yeah.
you do this. I know it's
Come
not
on,
like
man.
your most fun thing to do.
24 years. I was 24 years old.
To listen
I've
to
learned
your,
a lot
well,
since
you
then.
know, it's so funny. You are so much more sophisticated, and it's still killing, but I can hear a difference in, what you were sort of dragging on then that you've since fixed. It's fun.
Right.
It's funny for me.
Now let's talk a little negatives there. A little overcomping in the left hand. I'm hearing.
That's a young man's thing, right?
That's the young man's game.
For
exactly.
sure. Yeah. And I mean, other than that, it was pretty sick. So, we'll do this again.
Cool.
I'll make Peter do it again. It's fun.
Cool.
And until
we might
next,
pull one out on you too.
I would not. Well, yeah, I would not do that if I were.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah. Just listen to all the technical deficiencies in the guys. Come on, man.
Self-deprecating.
That's true.
All right.
All right. Till next time.
You'll hear it.